so as we continue working with fractions in 5th grade, we often get asked to write it in its simplest form, or to simply just simplify the fraction, right? So today, as we were doing our math lesson, we came across this fraction. Do you guys remember when we had that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, imagine if I told you, draw me a picture that represents this. Who wants to draw a tape diagram with 60 little lines?
Whoa, I have.
Hang on,
You
hang
could-
on. Is this a friendly number to work with?
No. Yes.
It's really not. So that is why we are asking for you to write a fraction in its simplest form. So the way we do this, I'm recording a video. Okay, yeah. I think I left one on your desk. Guys, we're still recording. It's fine. Things happen. All right. So when we had this fraction here, I said it's not written in simplest terms. So how do we do this? And we've actually gone over it a little bit. Is we are having to divide both top and bottom by the same number. Correct? Nolan, you want to add something?
It has to be the, well, you want it to be the largest number that you can write it by.
Yeah, so it would be what we call the greatest common factor. So I do want to ask you guys this. If I have a multiplication problem, 3 times 3 equals 9, right? What are these two numbers called?
Whole number.
Factors. What was that? Factors. 3 is a factor. And this other 3 is also a factor. Then what is a 9 called?
Oh.
The what? Product. So factor equals the product. A product is the answer to multiplication. So here we have 3 times 3 equals 9. You agree? So then when we are identifying the greatest common factor, we are finding these numbers here. So we want to know what two numbers equal 45 and 60. And 60. But here's the catch. It's not just two numbers. It's several numbers that when multiplied together equal 45. I could think of 2 really fast for 45. Then maybe I could think of 3 for 60. So when we are trying to simplify a fraction, you have to find what all of these factors are. So for example, if I give you 45 and 60, you could write it like this, or you could write it how we had done it here. So, which first two numbers equal 45? Which two factors equal 45? Nolan.
2.
2 goes into 45?
5 goes into 45.
So, 2 is a factor that equals 45? Roberta, what is it?
5.
5. 5 is 1. 5 times what equals 45?
9.
5 and 9. Before 5, how about what other number before 5?
4?
Jacob.
Oh, that could be. I get it.
15?
15 and what?
And 50. Oh, wait.
15 times what equals 45?
Oh, times 3.
3. So 15 times 3. What other one?
1.
1 and
45.
45. So you kind of have to decide like what's easier for you, because you could have also done it like this, 45, and then you could have started with the 1 times 45, right? 1 and then 45 at the other side, and then 3 times 15 we said, and then no 4 but product of 45. Is there another one?
Oh,
Are you
no,
ready
I
to do
was
60?
I was gonna say that, you wouldn't wanna do 45 because then you can't do 45 times the number to get 60. That's why 15 is the second largest number.
Yeah. So first we have to find the factors of each, and then we decide which one's the biggest one. And I'm gonna show you why we always go for the biggest one. Because if you choose one of the smaller ones, you're gonna have to keep simplifying over and over and over again. So what are the factors of 60? These are the factors. What two numbers equal 60? Max.
1 and 60.
1 and 60. Jacob.
15 times 4.
15 times 4. So
Yeah.
4 and 15. I'm just kind of trying to line them up. Jose.
5 times 12.
5 times 12. Isabella. 2 times 30. Damien. 10 times 6. So you decide if you want to do it like that or like this. So we say 1 times 60. 2 times 30. 3, not 3, but 4 times 12 times 15, right? Wait. 4 times 15. And then 5 times 12. And then the other one that we had was 6 times 10. Now, the next step is identify the greatest common factor. These are factors. These are factors, right? Which one's the greatest common one? Like which one's the same that they both have, but it must be the biggest one? Humberto.
1,
1 is the biggest one?
50,
15.
15.
Yeah. So 15 is the greatest common factor, which means I could divide both top and bottom by 15. And my answer would be 45 divided by 15 is 3. And 60 divided by 15 is 4. So, is this something we would want to draw rather than 45 over 60?
Yeah.
I'd rather draw this. I'd rather draw 3/4 than draw 60 of these. So that is the main reason why we're asking you to simplify your fractions. So in order for you to come up with the factors, it's very important that you know your multiplication facts. If you don't know, use your multiplication chart. Alright, so here's another little trick that I personally do because I don't want to have to write all these factors out all the time. So if I have 4 over 12, is 4 an odd or an even number?
Even.
Even. How about 12?
Even.
Every time you have even numbers, guess what? You could divide by 2. Every time. Works every single time. Even number, divided by 2. So you know what? I don't want to do all the factors. I'm just going to divide by 2. Top and bottom. What's 4 divided by 2?
2.
And what's 12 divided by 2? 6.
But you could,
Alright, but what's happening here? EJ.
I was gonna say you could have just divided.
Yeah, you could have just divided by 4, but if you're not there yet to catch that, you could always start off small and do maybe 2s at a time. So now I'm left with 2 6. Guess what?
you're gonna simplify by 2.
There's still, I could still divide it by 2. What's 2 divided by 2?
2.
1,
Oh no.
1. And 6 divided by 2 is 3.
or,
Can I divide both top and bottom by any other number besides 1?
no.
Guess what? I know I cannot because 1 is something we call a prime number. You guys know what a prime number is,
Oh,
right,
yes.
Damien? What's a prime number? numerator. What's a prime number? Nolan.
It's a number. Okay, I just want to say I had this on my iReady math test. Remember, I went to your desk and you didn't tell me what it was. But
What's a prime?
isn't it a number that can only be divided in one way?
And that way is what?
The number it is.
The number it is, or yeah, so by 1. So you can only divide this by 1 and then this one by 1. So it's a prime number. So guys, whether you're finding the greatest common factor to simplify this, or you go step by step, it's completely up to you. So now I want you to take a look at that worksheet in front of you. And Isaiah, can you give me the first two numbers on that worksheet? 12 and 26. 12, 26. Alright,
This. Are we doing this side?
yeah.
Yes.
Wait,
So
or
the one, not the one with conversions, it's the one with the GCF.
I have my sign on the conversion. Well, I didn't get that paper. You flipped my page. I'm like,
Alright, so now we're back to finding the factors that equal 12. So a number times a number gives me 12. A factor times a factor gives me 12. So we're finding these factors. What's the very first number? Nolan. 1 and 1 times
12.
12. What's next? Other hands? Max.
2.
2 and 2 times 6. What other number, Elijah?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, is that what we're like writing exactly?
Yeah, these are the numbers you have to write. That's the only thing we have to do.
So on the lines, what about the like little hash after the long line?
That's what the answer is gonna be.
Yeah, these are the answers.
Okay.
Jacob, what's another one?
3 times 4.
3 times 4. So guys, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you get these two to be these factors here, you know you can stop. So how about 26? What's the first number, Evelyn, for 26?
17.
Start with 1. 1 times 26. What's the next one, EJ?
2 times 13.
2 times 13. Is there anything else?
I think you did not want 4.
4 times what?
I don't know.
No.
Let's check. Does 4 go evenly into 26? 4 goes into 26 how many times?
0.
0.
4
Oh, I
times
thought you
6
meant you.
is 24, and you have 2 left over. So no, it doesn't. So whenever you're in doubt, you actually have to divide. So I think this is it. So what would be the greatest number that these two have in common?
13.
Factor.
Oh wait, no. 2.
2 and 13.
So that all you have to do is circle that greatest common factor. That's it. Simple? Alright, let's do another one.
Wait, what about the little hash at the end?
You just put
You just put 2, 2.
2?
Yeah. So the very last line, so you have a line like right here, you would just put 2.
Oh,
That's
okay.
your greatest common
And then
factor.
the denominator is what?
Alright. You don't really have to do anything but find these factors. Alright.
So what about the denominator? Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because you put 2, but what about the denominator? Because that's what the line was for. Did you just put 26?
No.
No, you put
It's
2.
just it's not a fraction line. It's just a number. Alright, what is the next problem on there, number 2?
It's
35
over 28.
No, that's 3.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
2 is 30 and 40.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we're gonna find all the factors for 30 and 40. So all the factors that equal 30 and 40. Alright, let's start with 30. What's the first one? EJ.
Are you supposed to writing it down and also
Yes.
1 times 30
1 times 30.
and 2 times 15?
Alright, you gave us 2. And 2 times 15. Anyone else? Evelyn.
10 times.
Okay, so 10 times 3. Aaron, what's another one? 5 and
10.
5 and 10 for 30?
Oh.
5 and 6. So you see how the 5 and 6 are literally next to each other? That's kind of how you know when you're done. Alright, 40. What's the first one?
1 times 40.
6 times 5 is the same thing.
Oh no, 6 times 6. Oh, yeah.
Devin, go.
1 times 40.
1 times 40.
That is
Francisco,
easy
go.
over there.
2 times 20.
2 times 20. Another one. Jacob.
5 times 8.
5 times 8.
Or 10 times 4.
How about before 5?
4 times 10.
4 times 10.
Yeah. I said 10 times 4.
4 times 10. And then what was that one that you said?
5 times 8.
5 times 8. How about 6? 7?
No.
Are we done?
Yes.
Alright, what's the greatest common factor here?
5.
No,
5?
10. 10.
10.
It's 10. Pay very close attention.
Oh.
So in this line you have here, I would do 10. Okay, how do we feel about it? Does it really help to see how it's broken down and how these are the factors in the products?
Yeah.
I don't see everyone's thumbs to show me how you feel about this. Alright, go ahead and do number 3 on your own as I walk around and check your work. You have questions, you may talk to your neighbor. Remember, you're finding these factors here that equal the numbers and you're writing them down like that.
You can't do it anything times 2.
A little hint, if it's an even number, it will always be 2 will always be a factor. No, then skip to 3, 4, 5.
Wait,
Give you a couple of minutes to work out 3 and then we will check our answers. Remember, if you are having trouble finding the factors, you may use your multiplication chart. Yeah, so 1 times 10 or 1 times, yeah, 35 on the other side. 1 times 35, and then can you do 2? 3, 4, 5. The next one would be 5 times, the 7 goes on this side. So that's why you have all that space in the middle. Guys, if you're having trouble, you could always connect these and say, alright, 1 times 30 is 30, 2 times 15 is 30, 3 times 10, and 5 times 6. 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 4 times 10, and 5 times 8. So you know that you need those 2 numbers.
This the only one you can do on 3 for 35 is 1, 5, 7.
Yeah, there might not be that many.
35.
Some numbers have 2, some numbers have 4.